Hello, my name is Roberto Garcia. We're gonna talk about a lesson of Touchstone 4A. We're gonna work on Unit 1, Lesson A. Please check page 3 of your books. We're gonna work this chart, simple and continuous verbs. So follow me. We're gonna talk about simple verbs which are used for completed actions or permanent situations, and on the other hand, continuous verbs which are used for ongoing actions or temporary situations. Okay, so let's see the examples. In this question, what kind of music do you listen to? This is a permanent situation. When I say I love Latin music, I listen to it a lot. This is a permanent situation. This is not temporary. I love Latin music. I love it. This is permanent. But if I say, what kind of music are you listening to currently? So this is not permanent. This is currently. You see, this is a temporary situation. So I can say, I'm listening to a lot of Latin jazz right now. This is temporary. I'm talking about what I'm listening to right now. Right? What about this example? Have you ever lived in another country? No, I've never lived anywhere else. This is a completed action. Have you ever lived? So this is completed, right? I'm talking about the completed action. No, I've never lived anywhere else. So this is completed. But what if I say, how long have you been living here? So have you been living? I'm still living there. So it's not completed. It's still ongoing. I've been living here for 5 years. I'm still living here. So it's not completed. It's an ongoing action, right? What about this example? What do you do for your last birthday? What do you do for your last birthday? I went home and had a big party. In this case, this is a completed action too. So what did you do for your last birthday? So it's completed. It's an action in the past. It's done. I went home. And I had a big party. It's done. So it's a completed action. But if I say, what were you doing at this time yesterday? So at this time it's 10:30. At this time, what was I doing yesterday at this time? So it's not a completed action. It's an ongoing action. So it's in the past. Okay, it's done, but it's an ongoing action. It's an ongoing activity. I was sitting on the bus. So I was doing that. I was sitting on the bus. It's an ongoing action. Okay, let's see some exercises of this. Okay, now we're gonna see the activities on page 2, the getting started part. So let's see activity B. Says, can you choose the correct form of each question? So let's see. For number 1, A, what book do you read currently? Is that correct, or should it be, what book are you reading currently? So the question here is, if it's a permanent situation, it should be simple tense. If it's an ongoing activity or temporary situation, it's continuous tense. So in this case, what book do you read currently? Is this permanent? No, this should be ongoing activity, right? This should be a temporary situation, right? Because I can read a book and then I finish it and then it's done. So it's a temporary activity. So this shouldn't be, what book do you read currently? No, that's wrong. It should be, what book are you reading currently? Right? Well, if it's a temporary situation, this should be this one. Let's see. So one could be B. Because this is temporary. We're going to check it later. Let's see number 2. When did you last see a really good movie? Or when were you last seeing a really good movie? Which one is correct? Okay, is this a completed action or is it an ongoing activity? So if I saw a really good movie and the question is when did you do it? So it's a completed action, right? Okay, for completed actions, what kind of tense do I use? Do I use simple tense or continuous tense? Remember, completed action, exactly. We have to use simple tense. So it should be, when did you last see a really good movie? Because this is a simple tense. This is not a continuous. So it should be 2A. because it's continuous. I mean, it's completed action. Let's see with number 3. We have you ever stayed up all night, or have you ever been staying up all night? The question is the same. Is this a permanent situation, or a completed action, or is this an ongoing activity or temporary situation? So, have you ever stayed up all night? This is a completed action, right? Yeah. Have you ever done that? So it's a completed action. So this should be exactly completed simple tense. So it should be, have you ever stayed up all night? So this should be A, because it's also a completed action. Completed action. So let's see if this is correct. Okay. Okay, so we say 1 was B because it's a temporary situation, 2 was A because it's a completed action, and 3 is A because it's a completed action. Now, let's check it out. Let's see if that's correct. Let's see. 1, B. What book are you reading currently? So this is a continuous, right? Continuous. And it was B. Yes, that's correct. So it's continuous because it's a temporary situation. What book are you reading currently? Is it currently, right now, these days? So it's temporary, continuous. Number 2. Answer is A. When did you last see a really good movie? This is a completed action. It's completed. So when did you last see a really good movie? This is also a simple tense because it's a completed action, right? And finally, 3. Have you ever stayed up all night? So this is also a completed action. That's why this is a simple tense. Okay, so if we see this part, so we said 1, this was temporary situation. So if it's a temporary situation, this should be a continuous tense. If it's a completed action, we have to use simple tense. Simple tense. Completed action, simple tense, temporary, continuous tense.
3.
Okay, so for finishing this video, this tutorial, we're going to make explanation in Spanish so I can make sure you understand all this topic. Okay? Pay attention. Entonces, para simple verbs, usamos simple verbs cuando estamos hablando de acciones completas, acciones terminadas, hechas. O también para situaciones permanentes, que no cambian. ¿No? Como cuando yo digo, what kind of music you listen to? ¿Qué clase de música escuchas? Escuchas, eso es permanente, right? Cuando digo, I love Latin music, I listen to it a lot. So, esa es una situación permanente, ¿no? A mí me gusta, me encanta la música latina, es una situación permanente, right? Pero si digo, what kind of music are you listening to currently? Estoy diciendo, ¿qué clase de música estás escuchando actualmente? So, en este caso, tú no estás refiriéndote a algo permanente, sino temporal. Entonces, usamos continuous verbs para situaciones temporales, temporary situations. Porque es en estos días. ¿Qué clase de música estás escuchando en estos días? ¿Correcto? I'm listening to a lot of Latin jazz right now. Estoy escuchando un montón de música jazz latino en estos días, justo ahora. Entonces miren que esto es temporal. Cuando es temporal, temporary situations, continuous verbs. I am listening to. Right? Vamos aquí. Have you ever lived in another country? ¿Alguna vez has vivido en otro país? Entonces, esto es una situación completa también, ¿no? Porque es algo que alguna vez has vivido. Estás hablando de una situación terminada y completa. ¿Correcto? No, I've never lived anywhere else. También es una situación completa. Por eso que es un tiempo simple. En este caso es el present perfect, que es un tiempo simple, es un tiempo continuo. Pero cuando digo, how long have you been living here? En este caso yo estoy hablando no de la situación completa, sino más bien de la situación la ongoing action, una acción que está continuando, right? Entonces, how long have you been living here? ¿Cuánto tiempo has estado viviendo aquí? Right? Incluso en este caso yo puedo decir, I've been living here for 5 years. Todavía sigo viviendo aquí. He estado viviendo aquí por 5 años y todavía lo sigo haciendo. Entonces, no estoy hablando de la situación completa, sino más bien de una situación que sigue ocurriendo, an ongoing action. ¿Okay? Finalmente, cuando digo, what did you do for your last birthday? I went home, I had a big party. What did you do? Es una acción completa, ¿correcto? Completa. ¿Qué hiciste por tu último cumpleaños? Completa. What did you do? I went home, I had a big party. ¿No? Fui a casa y tuve una fiesta muy grande. Entonces, en este caso es una situación completa. I went home. Simple past, right? So simple tense. Aquí, si yo digo, what were you doing at this time yesterday? ¿Qué estuviste haciendo a esta hora ayer? En este caso no estoy hablando de la acción completa, sino de una acción que continúa ocurriendo, una ongoing activity, ¿no? Entonces, I was sitting on the bus, estaba sentado en el bus. Entonces, cuando me refiero para situaciones que continúan ocurriendo, no es ongoing actions, no solamente la situación terminada, sino más bien la situación que continúa ocurriendo, o situaciones temporales, en este caso uso continuous verbs. ¿Ok? ¿Quedó claro?